applied appropriately to me. How will I know when I'm older? Is it when winter feels colder? The summer's too hot, the hit parade's not. How will I know when I'm losing the plot? How will I know there are two kinds of people? So I am told, the humanoid young, the rheumatoid old, the young and the blind, the old and resigned, the young who will fight, the old who are right. And I don't feel like either. How will I know? And I don't feel like either. How will I know? And how will I know? And I don't feel like either. How will I know? And how will I know when I really don't feel like either? How will I know? And how will I know when I really don't feel like either? How will I know? And how will I know?
An excellent question there, Three Blind Mice, with the song How Will I Know off the album Good Grief, available on iTunes and Amazon.com. I'm 50 years old today. The big 50. Half a century. Part of me didn't think I'd ever get here. That's a story for another time, though. No, today I'm talking about being this age. When I was younger, I often wondered, how would I feel when I was in my 50s? And the answer is, I don't feel anything. I feel no different than I did when I was in my 20s. I was told by people of that age when I was younger that when I got to that age, things would be different and I would feel different. And the answer really is that I don't. I don't feel any different. I'm sure there's been changes. I'm sure if I went back to my 20-year-old or my 15-year-old or even my 30-year-old self and checked them against me now, I'm guessing I'd see differences, but I don't feel different. One thing I definitely don't feel, though, is old. That's not to say I feel young. I'm not young. I haven't been young for a while. But I don't feel old. And that brings me to another point here. What's the deal with people my age who think they're old? Why are you in such a hurry to be old? There's a bunch of people in my life who are roughly around my age, maybe a little younger, who just sit around going, well, I'm old. You know, those kids these days talking about people just a few years younger than them. And they just seem to can't wait. They can't wait to be of the age where I guess they get to say, fuck it, I'm not going to try anymore. I'm not going to try and change. I'm not going to try new things. I'm going to look at new technology and go, that's not for me. That's for those kids. Not going to listen to new music. Even though there's more new music than there ever has been, they're not going to try and find new TV shows or read new books or anything else like that. They don't care. They've got their set way of doing things, and that's it. And they've waited. They've waited since they were kids. They looked at that goal and they said, well, I keep having to change my whole life and try new things and do new things. But over there, right over there, somewhere past 40, is when I don't have to do anything new anymore. I can stop trying. I can just give up and get set in my ways. These people are barely middle-aged, or some of them squarely middle-aged, and all of them stand around acting like they're old and commenting about how old they are, how when they were kids back in the 1850s. They talk to younger people and say, when I was your age. They throw their weight around. They act like they deserve some kind of respect for living this long. And the fact of the matter is, and I know these people, they're just as clueless now as they were when they were younger. They won't admit it, though. They will act as if they have lots of experience under their belt and a lot of wisdom to impart to anyone who asks, but they don't. And that's because I think if they stop and realize that they got this far and they still don't have a clue. Like me, I admit that. I've gotten this far. I still don't have a clue. I still don't know what I'm doing, and I won't pretend to. That is the human condition. But if you admit that out loud, that means that you still have to learn, and you still have to grow, and you still have to change. And far too many people get to that part of their life and say, no, that's too hard. I'm done evolving. I'm done trying to change. I'm done trying to learn new things. This is hard. It's been hard all this time, and I don't want to do it anymore. So now I'm going to stop. Now I'm going to be too old. Well, fuck that. I'm still too young to be too old. And if I have anything to say about it, and I do, I am never gonna be too old. That's not to say I won't age. Oh, I'm gonna age and I'm gonna fall apart like a bag of rotten fruit. But one thing I'm never gonna be is that person who looks back on their life at their younger years and thinks, that's when everything was the best. If only I could go back to that time, but I can't. Now I'm gonna resent younger people for daring to remind me of how I'm past my prime. I'm gonna look at the political world and think, oh, I need to find a candidate who's gonna drag the whole world back. We've gone too far. We gotta go back to when I was young. Because things were great then. Back to my picture in my head of when the world was younger and I was younger and everything was great. Back when comedy was still funny. Back when movies were still exciting. Back when the music was good. I'm gonna embrace technology that reminds me of when I was 12 years old. I'm gonna go see movies and read books that remind me of when I was 14 years old. No future! I'm gonna spew hate and venom and rage against a world that had the audacity to leave me behind. It didn't leave you behind. You just stopped following it because it was too hard and you were a little tired. And then I see younger people who make fun of older people, like me. Oh, you're so old. Please, God, let me be around for them when they hit 30 and 40. Partially to laugh at their meltdown because they're too old, but also because maybe I can offer them some advice. Being middle-aged, being older is fine. And that's my goal, I realize, as I reach the back third of my life. I'm 50. If I live to be 80, that'll be another 30 years. If I live to be 90 or 100, that's another 50 years. If I live to be 90 or 100, I'm going to be in really, really sad physical shape. Maybe I don't want that. Whatever. Anyway, as I get older, I'm going to continue to move forward. And I'm going to continue to be delighted with life. Not trying to be cool, not trying to be young, not trying to relate. I just want to be the person who sees new experiences and tries new things and embraces the idea that life's still just fine. I will admit I don't know what I'm doing. I've never known what I'm doing. I'm 50 years old and I still don't know what I'm going to do with my life when I grow up. I'm doing this because this is all I have time to do left. I'm doing this show. I'm going to try some other things too. I just want to keep doing them. I'm going to keep having fun and keep embracing this and enjoying it and projecting that to the world because that sounds delightful. Whereas sitting around and being bitter and venomous about the world for not being the way you want it to be doesn't sound so fun. And the one thing I hope I can achieve, is if nothing else, to be an example. An example to people my age that you're not too old, that you can just keep doing things and you can keep having a good time. And I'm not the only one who thinks this way. There are tons of people my age and older and just younger who are just trundling along with their lives, enjoying it, and they are an inspiration to others. Like young people, who I hope you'll look at people like me, that I'll try to be an example of, and other people who are an example of this, and say, oh, getting older is no big deal. Who cares? Just keep doing stuff. I know I'm rambling. I mean, I just have sort of bare bones notes here. There's also going to be sort of a meditation on mortality and all of this, but like I said, I'm going to leave that for another thing. I'm actually feeling too good to talk about that. And I want to talk about this, which is, don't get too old. You're allowed to get old, but never get too old. Because you know what that means. I'm too old for this. That phrase can be applied to certain individual instances in life, but if that is your philosophy of life, go fuck yourself. And that's because you gave up. You gave up and you stopped trying, and now you're just going to have bitterness and anger. And you're going to make the world that much more bitter and angry with that attitude. One day I am going to die. One day all of us are going to die. And I will get older. I don't know how much. I could be dead by the time you hear this podcast, or it might not be until I'm 108. Until then, I'm going to keep trying and growing and learning and experiencing and thinking. And I will never be too old. Thanks for listening to me rant. I hope I didn't bore you there. I hope you didn't tune out too soon. And that was a little bit rambly. Maybe I should have compiled those notes a little better and written something. But hey, it's my birthday, all right? Give me some slack. I'm old. Just not too old. I'll be back again on Monday with the continuation of whatever it is I'm doing here. And then, we'll pick things up from there. And as the other heads up, the following week, if I didn't mention that before, after next week, I'm going to be taking more than a week off because I have to go do a convention. And I can't do the show while I'm at the convention. And I didn't have enough time to do shows in advance, which I'll try and work around in the future as I get the schedule working better. But anyway, happy birthday to all of you out there, because you will have a birthday this year. And, enjoy it. Enjoy life. Don't get too old. Bye.